Okay, so guys, this might take you back to like Avengers vibes, might give you Avengers vibes, because we are reading chapter 1 of Magnus Chase and the Hammer of Thor. This chapter is 11 pages long, from page 1 to 12. Like, chapter 2 starts at 12, so it's 11 pages long. But, let's just start reading this. 1. Could you please stop killing my goat? Lesson learned. If you take a Valkyrie out for coffee, you'll get stuck with the Shek and a dead body. I hadn't seen Samara Alabas in almost 6 weeks, so when she called out the blue and said we need to talk about a matter of life and death, I agreed right away. Technically, I'm already dead, which means the whole life and death thing didn't apply, but still. Sam sounded anxious. She hadn't yet arrived when I got to the Thinking Cup on Newberry Street. The place was packed as usual, so I queued up for coffee. A few seconds later, Sam flew in, literally, right over the heads of the cafe patrons. I don't know how to say that. Nobody batted an eye. Regular mortals aren't good at processing magical stuff, which is fortunate, because otherwise Bostonians would spend most of their time running around in a panic from giants, trolls, ogres, and Einherjar with battle axes and lattes. Sam landed next to me in her school uniform, white sneakers, khaki slacks, and a long-sleeved navy shirt with the King Academy logo. A green hijab covered her hair. An axe hung from her belt. I was pretty sure the axe wasn't standard dress code. As glad as I was to see her, I noted that the skin under her eyes was darker than usual. She was swaying on her feet. Hey, I said. You look terrible. Nice to see you too, Magnus. No, I mean, not terrible like different than normal terrible, just like exhausted. Should I get you a shovel so you can dig that hole a little deeper? I raised my hand in surrender. Where have you been the last month and a half? Her shoulders tightened. My workload this semester has been killing me. I'm tutoring kids after school. Then, as you might remember, there's my part-time job reaping souls of the dead and running top-secret missions for Odin. You kids in your busy schedules. On top of all that, there's flight school. Flight school? We shuffled forward the line. Like aeroplanes? I knew Sam's goal was to become a professional pilot someday. But I hadn't realized she was already taking lessons. You can do that at 16? Her eyes sparkled with excitement. My grandparents could never have afforded it, but the Fadlands have this friend who runs a flight school. They finally convinced Jade and Bibi. Ah, I grinned. So the lessons were a gift from Amir. Sam blushed. She's the only teenager I know who has a betrothed. And it's cute how flustered she gets when she talks about Amir Fadlan. Those lessons were the most thoughtful, the most considerate. She sighed wistfully. But enough of that. I didn't bring you here to talk about my schedule. We have an informant to meet. An informant? This could be the break I've been waiting for. If his informant is good... Sam's phone buzzed. She fished it out of her pocket, checked the screen and cursed. I have to go. You just got here. Valkyrie business. Possible 381. Code 381, heroic death in progress. Okay. You're making that up. I'm not. So, what? Somebody thinks they're about to die and they text you, going down, need a Valkyrie ASAP, followed by a bunch of sad face emojis? I seem to recall taking your soul to Valhalla. You didn't text me. No, but I'm special. Just get a table outside, she said. Meet my informant. I'll be back as soon as I can. I don't even know what your informant looks like. You'll recognize him when you see him, Sam promised. Be brave. Also get me a scone. She flew out of the shop like Super Muslimah, leaving me to pay for our order. I got 2 large coffees and 2 scones and found a table outside. Spring had arrived early in Boston. Patches of dirty snow still clung to the curbs like dental plaque. But the cherry trees popped with white and red buds. Flowery pastel clothing displays bloomed in the windows of high-end boutiques. Tourists strolled by enjoying the sunshine. Sitting outside, comfortable in my freshly laundered jeans, t-shirt, and denim jacket, I realized this would be the first time spring in 3 years that I hadn't been homeless. Okay, hold on, guys. I'll be right. Actually, I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Got some water. Okay, let's continue reading this glorious book. Last March, I had been scrounging from dumpsters. I'd been sleeping under a bridge in the public garden, hanging out with my buddies Hearth and Blitz, avoiding the cops and just trying to stay alive. Then, 2 months ago, I died fighting a fire giant. I'd woken up in the Hotel Valhalla as one of Odin's Einherjar warriors. Now I had clean clothes. I took a shower every day. I slept in a comfortable bed every night. I could sit at this cafe table, eating food I'd actually paid for and not worry about when the staff would force me to move along. Since my rebirth, I got used to a lot of weird stuff. I'd traveled the 9 worlds meeting Norse gods, elves, dwarves, and a bunch of monsters with names I couldn't pronounce. I'd formed form a runestone of... I'd... Wait. I'd scored a magical sword that presently hung around my neck in the form of a runestone pendant. I'd even had a mind-melting conversation with my cousin Annabeth about the Greek gods who hung out in New York and made her life difficult. Apparently North America was lousy with ancient gods. We had a full-blown infestation. All of that I learned to accept. Being back in Boston on a nice spring day, hanging out like a regular mortal kid, that felt strange. I scanned the crowd of pedestrians, looking for Sam's informant. "You'll recognize him when you see him," she had promised. I wondered what kind of informant this guy had and why Sam considered it life and death. Yeah, I wonder why. My gaze fixed on a storefront at the end of the block. Over the doorway, the brass and silver sign still gleamed proudly, Blitzen's Best. But the shop was shuttered. The front door window was papered over on the inside, with a message hastily scrawled in red marker. "Closed for remodeling. Back soon." I've been hoping to ask Samira about that. I had no idea why my old friend Blitz had abruptly disappeared. One day a few weeks ago, I just walked by the shop and found it closed. Since then, there'd been no word from Blitzen or Hearthstone, which wasn't like them. Thinking about this made me so preoccupied I almost couldn't see our informant until he was right on top of me. But Sam was correct. He kind of stood out. It's not every day you see a goat in a trench coat. A pork pie hat was wedged between his curly horns. A pair of sunglasses perched on his nose. His trench coat kept getting tangled in his back hooves. Despite his clever disguise, I recognized him. I'd killed and eaten this particular goat on another world, which is the sort of bonding experience you don't forget. "Otis," I said. "Shh," he said. "I'm incognito. Call me Otis." I'm not sure how that's how incognito works, but okay. Otis, aka Otis, climbed onto the chair I'd reserved for Sam. He sat on his back haunches and put his front hooves on the table. "Where's the Valkyrie? Is she incognito too?" He peered at the nearest pastry bag as if Sam might be hiding inside. Samira had to go reap a soul, I said. "She'll be back soon." "It must be nice having a purpose in life." Otis sighed. "Well, thank you for the food. That's not for..." Otis snapped up Sam's scone bag and began to eat it, paper and all. At the table next to us, an older couple glanced at my goat friend and smiled. Maybe their mortal senses perceived him as a cute child or a funny pet dog. I'm just gonna grab my phone real quick, just in case anybody texts me and I don't have to walk over here. Oh. You guys can see me. My phone's on 100% charge. And this is my background. Screen 7. It was such a good movie. So we'll take a little book break, and I'm going to show you guys some trailers of Scream 7 if you haven't seen it yet. There's only 2 trailers that I've seen. There's this one.
This is it. Can't believe we're staying at the Psycho Killer B&B. motion detector.
Hello?
Hello, Sydney. Did you miss me? Nice little town you found. You and your pretty daughter. Reminds me of where we grew up.
Well, you sure know a lot about me for another asshole hiding behind a voice changer.
Oh, I'm not hiding, Sydney. Not this time.
Down to the end.
Scream is a very good movie. It's my favorite movie.
I want to be a fighter, like you. If you hurt her,
I'm not going to hurt her until you're here to see it.
let's unmask this fucker.
All your friends died for just being near you.
Where is my daughter? Tatum, listen to me. He's trying to find another way in. We're gonna do this together. You're gonna have to shoot him through the wall. Where? To the right of the door. Shoot him now! Do it now! Oh, you got it. He's dead. You need to make sure you shoot him in the head.
I'm gonna burn it all down.
Mother!
This is gonna be fun.
Alright, that was the first Scream 7 trailer. I'll show you guys the next one. The last final trailer. This is for a little book break.
I'm gonna make everyone you love suffer, including your pretty daughter.
Don't you fucking dare!
This is gonna be fun. Scream.
Creepy's kind of hot.
Only in theaters Friday. Get tickets now.
Alright, that was pretty good. So now we are going back to the book. Where was I? So, I had a hard time watching Otis devour the pastry, spraying crumbs across the lapels of his trench coat. You had something to tell us? Otis belched. It's about my master, Thor. Otis flinched. Yes, him. If I worked for the Thunder God, I too would have flinched when I heard Thor's name. Otis and his brother Marvin pulled the god's chariot. They also provided Thor with a never-ending supply of goat meat. Each night, Thor killed and ate them for dinner. Each morning, they resurrected them. This is why you should go to college, kids. So when you grow up, you do not have to take a job as a magical goat. I finally have a lead, Otis said, on that certain object my master is missing. You mean his ham? Don't say it aloud, Otis warned. But yes, his ham. I flashed back to January, when I first met the Thunder God. Good times around the campfire, listening to Thor fart, talk about his favorite TV shows, fart, complain about his missing hammer, which he used to kill giants, and stream his favorite TV shows and fart. It's still missing? I asked. Otis clacked his front hose on the tabletop. Well, not officially, of course. If the giants knew for certain that Thor was without his you-know-what, they would invade the mortal worlds, destroying everything and send me into a very deep funk. But unofficially, yes. We've been searching for months with no luck. Thor's enemies are getting bolder. They sense weakness. I told my therapist it reminds me of when I was a kid in the goat pen, and the bullies were sizing me up. Otis got a faraway look in his yellow slit pupil eyes. I think that's when my traumatic stress started. Your traumatic stress. That was my cue to spend the next several hours talking about Otis about his feelings. Being a terrible person, I just said, I feel your pain, and moved on. Otis, I said, the last time we saw you, we found Thor a nice iron staff to use as a backup weapon. He's not exactly defenseless. No, but the staff is not as good as the ham. It doesn't inspire the same fear in the giants. Also, Thor gets cranky trying to watch his shows on the staff. The screen is tiny, and the resolution is terrible. I don't like it when Thor is cranky. It makes it hard for me to find my happy space. A lot about this did not make sense. Why Thor would have so much trouble locating his own hammer. How he could possibly have kept its lost a secret from the giants for so long, and the idea that the Otis, the goat, would have a happy space. It's only 1, 2... 3, a little over 3 more pages. I can do it. So Thor wants our help, I guess. Not officially. Of course not. We'll all have to wear trench coats and glasses. That's an excellent idea, Otis said. Anyway, I told the Valkyrie I would keep her updated since she is in charge of Odin's, special missions. This is the first good lead I've got to the location of this certain object. My source is reliable. He's another goat who goes to the same psychiatrist. He overheard some talk in his barnyard. He wants to track down a lead based on barnyard gossip you heard in your psychiatrist's waiting room. That would be great. Otis leaned so far forward I was afraid he might fall out of his chair. But you're going to have to be careful. It took all my effort not to laugh. I played catch the lava ball with fire giants. I'd eagle skied over the rooftops of Boston. I'd pulled the world serpent out of Massachusetts Bay and defeated Ferris the wolf with a ball of yarn. Now this goat was telling me to be careful. Is that hair? Okay. So where is the ham? I asked. Jotunheim, Niflheim, Thor Fartheim? You're teasing. Otis's sunglasses slipped sideways on his snout. But the ham is in a different dangerous location. It's in Provincetown. Provincetown, I repeated, on the tip of Cape Cod. I had vague memories of the place. My mom had taken me there for a weekend one summer when I was about 8. I remembered beaches, saltwater taffy, lobster rolls, and a bunch of art galleries. The most dangerous thing we encountered was a seagull with irritable bowel syndrome. Otis lowered his voice. There was a barrow in Provincetown, a white sparrow. Is that like a wheelbarrow? No, a white. Otis shuddered. Well, a white is a powerful undead creature that likes to collect magical weapons. A white's tomb is called a barrow. Sorry, I have a hard time thinking about whites. They remind me of my father. Are there... Wait, no. That raised another batch of questions about Otis's childhood, but I decided to leave them for his therapist. Are there a lot of layers of undead Vikings in Provincetown? I asked. Only one as far as I know, but that's enough. If the certain object is there, it will be difficult to retrieve. Underground and guarded by powerful magic. You'll need your friends, the dwarf and the elf. That would have been great if I had any idea where those friends were. I hope Sam knew more than I did. Why doesn't Thor go and check this barrow himself? I asked. Wait, let me guess. He doesn't want to draw attention, or he wants us to have a chance to be heroes, or it's hard work and he has some shows to catch up on. To be fair, Otis said, the new season of Jessica Jones did just start streaming. It's not the goat's fault, I told myself. He does not deserve to be punched. Fine, I said. When Sam gets here, we'll talk strategy. I'm not sure if I would wait with you. Otis licked a crumb off his lapel. I should have mentioned this earlier, but you see, someone or something has been stalking me. The hairs on my neck tingled. Do you think they followed you here? I'm not sure, Otis said. Hopefully my disguise threw them off. Oh, great, I thought. I scanned the street but saw no obvious lurkers. Did you get a good look at this something? No, Otis admitted. But Thor has all sorts of enemies who would want to stop us from getting his ham back. They would not want me sharing his information with you, especially this last part. You have to warn Samira that... Dunk. Living in Valhalla, I was used to deadly weapons flying out of nowhere. But I was so surprised when an axe sprouted from Otis's furry chest. I lunged across the table to help him. As a son of Frey, a god of fertility and health, I can do some pretty awesome first aid magic given enough time. But as soon as I touched Otis, I sensed that it was too late. The axe had pierced his heart. Oh dear. Otis coughed blood. I'll just die now. His head lolled backwards. His pork pie hat rolled across the pavement. The lady sitting behind us screamed as if just now noticing that Otis was not a cute puppy dog. He was, in fact, a dead goat. I scanned the rooftops across the street. Judging from the angle of the axe, it must have been thrown from somewhere up there. Yes. I caught a flicker of movement just as the attacker ducked out of sight, a figure in black wearing some sort of metal helmet. So much for a leisurely cup of coffee. I yanked the magical pendant from my neck chain and raced after the goat assassin. Alright guys, well that's the end of the video. That was the first chapter of Magnus Chase. And that was the first chapter of Magnus Chase and the Hammer of Thor. I really hope you guys enjoyed that. So if you did, please like this video and maybe share it so I can get some more likes and some more views. Thank you so much. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.